Hi guys, Veggie Gamer back and we're back to Lord of the Rings / Hobbit backstage goodness. Veggie Knights, thank you so much for watching the last one, guys. It's an absolute blooming treat. We watched, I think it's called The Fellowship of the Cast rather than Filming of the Fellowship of the Cast. I think this video title is just called that for whatever reason. And that was so sweet. I got to put out a quick apology, guys. For some reason, the audio cut out in the last 5... No, the audio of the video I was reacting to cut out for the last 5 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys. That's never happened before. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I thought it was a copyright issue, but I get notifications about that sort of thing when it happens. And so I think it must have been on my end. I'm so sorry about that. I will endeavour to make sure that doesn't happen again. But the Fellowship of the Cast was incredibly sweet, and it just showed how... I don't know if the characters were, like, written for the actors particularly. No, sorry. I don't know if the directing was particularly changed to fit the actors, but the characters... The actors were clearly so perfectly picked for each of the characters, guys. Like, to a ridiculous level. And yes, it was an absolute joy to watch. It was really, really lovely hearing about all their experiences and everything. The fact that it was Orlando Bloom's like first big project and everything, which still blows my mind. And so yes, I will be definitely watching that over and over again. I did say at the tail end of it that I could imagine just putting this on as something to relax to, which is so weird considering it's talking heads talking about a movie which you'd put on to relax to. The fact that you'd put on a talking heads documentary about that thing as well, it's kind of bizarre. I'm not making much sense, but either way, it was blooming sweet. I loved every single second of it, apart from Mary stepping on that splinter did make me wince, even though it apparently was absolutely tiny though. Today we got another Hobbit focused video. Now I don't know what the relevance is of the 02X03. I'd imagine that means it's a part of a series. I don't know if the 02 refers to it maybe being an extra on the Two Towers. I doubt it, guys. I don't know what the relevance of it is, but this is basically a list which I've been advised to check out for Lord of the Rings goodness, and so this is what we're going to be going through. And so if there are things in between these, and so if it is like episodic, so we've gone over 1, 1, 2, and all those sort of things, and we're jumping to 2, 3, and you do think there is something in between that we should check out, please do let me know in the comments, guys. I'm going on your recommendations. Just, again, thank you so much for putting this list together. It is incredibly useful to me. And like I say, guys, today we are checking out a Hobbit-themed video. I'm hoping it's going to feature a lot on Hobbiton. Seriously, guys, I think I said at the tail end of the Hobbit reactions, or at some point, that I would absolutely be up for a story taking place in Hobbiton. And not an Earth-ending story. I feel like that... You know what, that's why I also think about Star Wars, quite frankly, that they should just do side stories that aren't, you know, the be-all and end-all of the universe, you know. They probably have started doing that for all I know. I don't know. Either way, we're not talking about Star Wars, we're talking about The Hobbit, guys. Like I say, if there's anything that you want me to check out, please do let me know in the comments. But for now, we're going to be checking out A Day in the Life of Hobbiton. I love... A Day in the Life is probably my favourite Beatles song. I know it's a bit obvious. Octopus's Garden is massively underrated as well. We're not here to talk about the Beatles, guys. Intro's already getting really long. Let's get to this, guys. A Day in the Life of a Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, behind the scenes. Doesn't specify which movie, so I don't know if all of these extras are from... No, I don't think they would be. No, I feel like the last one was about Fellowship, obviously from the title. So this might be about Fellowship as well. We shall find out, though, guys. Looking forward to any Hobbit goodness. And Dominic is the name of Mary's actor. I need to learn these. Okay, guys, looking forward to this. Again, anything in Hobbiton, I'm just happy with. Did I even explain what I was saying about? Yeah, okay. What I'm saying about is that I'd love a story in Hobbiton where nothing earth-ending is happening. Maybe someone's wheelbarrow's gone missing, and you know, there's just a story about that. I would watch the hell out of something like that, guys. I really would. Anyway, I'm sorry. A Day in the Life of a Hobbit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Music.
I'm kind of glad on this movie that I got to direct it and I didn't have to play a Hobbit, because you know those guys had a fairly arduous time of it. They had to get up at the It's some unearthly hour.
How lucky are we to be in New Zealand to see this?
That is gorgeous.
That's half of why this movie is so amazing.
Yeah,
This kind
I
of
believe
stuff,
it.
every day. My day would start within the 5 o'clock hour, every day, for the most part. It's sometimes 4:30. That was lovely.
Oh my goodness.
The Hobbits would always start early because we had
That looks like
prosthetics in the morning. Our
Oh,
makeup
thank you.
took mostly about 2 hours.
Glue was painted to the bottom of your feet.
I
Then
can
you
believe
would
2 hours.
Slide into these prosthetic feet. They would then hair dry glue
Oh.
around the seams of your feet and paint them with airbrushes and
Oh, wow.
paintbrushes.
Standing up at 5 in the morning, and the whole time we're begging to sit down, but they don't let us.
I'm surprised not sleeping in the chairs.
That their ankles would sort of be bent in the wrong position, so they had to literally just stand up when I'm sure they'd rather be in bed.
We have to be
They had
really
to stand
honest
up.
and say that when the days that we don't have feet, we're really excited. Because A, that means we have a later call, and B, we don't have to stand up for an hour and a half.
Anything filmed
I don't
from
think my
there
wife
upwards.
knows as much about my feet as Sean Foot. And isn't that ironic that Sean's last name is Foot? F-O-O-T-E. Sean Foot. O-E?
No E.
No E. I want to put an E on there because it's just too weird that your
Amazing.
last name is Foot and that you work on my foot. My foots. No E.
So the prosthetics would be put on, and that would be an interesting time in the morning. It was always kind of it was our time to be with each other. We went through phases as well. There was the kind of reading phase, where we'd all be reading, and we.
Oh my goodness, there's Billy asleep there.
And the CD would be blaring and everything would be up. You know, just different kind of moods that everybody went through.
Oh my goodness.
Pick about 3 CDs to listen to because I'm here for So Bloody Long.
Everyone
And then
had
we'd
those
go
sort of
on to
cases
the
back in the day,
makeup chair.
guys. You kids out
Our
there.
wig and our ears put on. So the Hobbit
Oh my
ears
goodness.
actually encompass the entire ear and kind of fit on like like a glove.
They must be quite quick to put
Like
on.
an ear muff, but completely contoured for the ear.
The thing
Does
that's
that
weird
affect
about
your
the
hearing?
ears is, in terms of acting, is they're foam, latex, and so they actually absorb sound. And when other actors are performing, and sometimes it's hard to hear them.
And
There
then,
you go.
You know, maybe we'd get our rewrites because often, literally every day, the script was being rewritten.
So
Interesting.
anything that we'd learned the previous
amazed
night
by that.
made no sense because we would have revised script pages. I would say probably 90% of the time we arrived on set.
Not because we were in trouble in any sense, but it was really to get as close to Tolkien as possible, and I think we were always trying to incorporate more of Tolkien into the movie.
I actually have
Tolkien.
a whole miniaturized script so that if I want to see like where we've come from or where we're going to, and we have other notes and stuff, but it's really neat just to be able to have something to walk around in, and when Peter's talking about stuff,
You know where you're going
you
to,
can kind of,
Sam?
I don't know, it's just a useful tool.
Well, do, man.
If there was time, we'd nip and get some breakfast. Sometimes there wouldn't be time, there'd be a rush on, so we'd get breakfast brung to you. I'd normally have porridge. In fact, I don't think there was porridge on set until I kind of asked for it, and then there was always a big thing of porridge. So I
Good
think
man.
I kept everyone healthy on set because of that.
Keep it more regular.
has now
Let's not go to that.
I'm now completely transformed into a hobbit. All that I have left is to put on my wardrobe. So I've got my feet, got my wig, got my ears, got my dirt. I'm ready to go. I think I'll go in my trailer now, listen to a little music, relax, and get ready for the scene.
If you ever
I wonder if the
actually
feet
made
ever
it to
got
set-
damaged.
That's the thing about making movies is it is such a cliche, but it's so true. Everybody rushes because you have to be there in front of the camera when it's ready to go. But if something goes wrong, you know, a light goes or need to reset something, then it could be another 5 hours. As we were filming the movie, there was a making of that was always going on. So there was normally a camera on set. And, you know, if we
Subtle.
were ever really bored and
Dog's
hanging
face,
around
amazing.
the shop for a while, we'd try to
play it
do a
natural.
little skit.
The phone rang last night, and there was someone on the other end.
Oh my god. Is that Gimli in the background?
There's that thing where
So
you get
awkward.
so used to each other's company and so comfortable with each other that some of the things that you're getting up to keep yourself entertained just start to become a little bit off-center.
So this Elijah guy,
You know this Elijah Wood guy?
Yeah.
Have you spoke to him?
Yeah, a couple of things.
I was speaking to him today, and he's just being a real idiot.
He's up.
Hey! How are you?
Controversial.
How are you?
Elijah Wood!
Hey, I've got a present for you.
Monahan.
I've got a present for you.
A present?
Yeah.
What for?
Oh, just for, yeah. Nothing.
Yeah?
Just something I picked up.
You deserve one, man.
That's cool. You guys
I'm
rule.
gonna go and get it.
All right.
See ya.
See, nowadays that would be clipped and actually used as.
Next time, I'm gonna punch him right in the
Oh my god.
The other day, man.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He fucking cried as well. He's like,
Hey, man!
Amazing.
hey.
Hey, you guys. I've never met friends like you before on a set.
Shut up.
Well, honestly, I mean it.
It's Billy gonna go for a walk now, is he?
I would agree with that as well.
About my uncle?
Never been so close to
No.
two people in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
No idea.
He's jabbering all the time.
I
Sat
know.
down, talking to you.
I can believe it.
Jabba, jabba, jabba. I
Yeah,
was
constantly trying to interrupt.
and I'm busy with.
Hey!
Oh, he's singing in the middle as well.
Hey, how are you?
Hey!
All right.
Billy boy!
So we need to get back up in a minute or two, I think.
Were we going back
Yeah,
up?
I think so.
I can't wait to do this scene.
Are they meant to be eating those apples?
Well, they're fun, eh?
Well, they props.
I think that's us.
Alright, come on.
I remember once.
That was amazing.
Dom, we're doing this thing. Just bored, you know, we're out in location. And he says, how fast do you think you could touch every table in this canteen? It's just me
Oh,
and
when
him.
you're bored.
I was like, I reckon I could do it faster than you anyway.
The game that Billy played more than anything was to watch me run around and touch the tables, and then to forget to have started the stopwatch.
Oh
Just
my
watch
god.
Me get more tired, you know, and the time is going longer and longer, and just laughing and giggling to himself.
And then I go to do it. And as I'm running around, my foot comes off, you know, and flies off like that.
This is what I'm saying.
Going hell wetter that my foot's come off. And just at that, they say, okay, you're needed on set. And I've got this foot, you know, it's going to take like half an hour to put on.
Just put a
You
rock
just feel like
behind
an
in
idiot.
front of his foot at
Of
all
course, the
times.
biggest crime I could commit as a director was to have their feet glued on, but then because of the angles I was shooting that day, to somehow not see the feet.
Oh,
Sean
you
Astin in
prick.
particular kept a running tally, and by the time
That's
he was
amazing.
finished a 274-day shoot, he could tell me exactly how many days he'd had his feet glued on and they weren't photographed.
Yeah,
50
that's
separate
outrageous.
days. We got to 50 that we had the feet applied when they weren't actually
50?
seen on camera. In terms of the actual
Well,
work
15.
itself, Peter would wait until we were all sort of present, and he'd sort of talk us through things.
And then we'll then it's down, and then Billy
Those
says,
carrots.
"Oh look, Mary, it's Frodo."
Hobbits are small. They tend to be about 4 feet tall. 3'6" is kind of the average height of a hobbit. Obviously, we're not that size, so there was an interesting logistical issue with making us that size. And it wasn't one trick. There were a variety.
scenery
of
is
things
the big
that we
thing.
did to accomplish that final goal of the size difference between the hobbits and the rest of the characters. We had scale doubles for one,
Of course.
and we, as the hobbits, had to direct them, which is interesting. So come up, run. And
Oh, of course, because of the body
Maybe
language.
plant your foot out there and just sort of settle yourself down with that as a bit of a, you know, the little tiny details that made up kind of a simple performance for us. We had to kind of work them out with the scale doubles, and that was required of us pretty much every day. Brilliant. Thank you, Kieran.
The most complicated things were.
I didn't think of that for
probably
1
false
second.
perspective, whereby if I were to be doing a scene with Ian McKellen, he would be in the
do the
foreground
dishes.
of the shot, so that he would just look bigger, you know, because he'd be closer to the lens, and I would be back from the shot, but we would make out that we were level with each other.
That's amazing.
Simple in the sense that it is literally just one person in the foreground, one person in the background.
We'll look at the eyes. Elijah will be roughly down here. He's not.
Oh my
directly on the
goodness.
scene. He's a bit lower, a bit further down the time.
That only clicked in my mind of that shot just now.
But also logistically for us as actors, that posed the problem of eyeline.
From the hand of Sauron himself. No, don't look at me. Sauron himself.
Because we couldn't look at each other during the two shots, which is a weird thing because you rely so much on the other actor's eyes when you're acting.
That
it's
is-
important to have that connection, and we didn't have that connection for those kind of shots.
That must have been
And then there's
so
also blue
difficult.
screen. Here we go. and that was incredibly complicated, and I was really nervous because I was like, this feels really weird. I'm walking on, you know, a blue mat, and there's blue around me, and there's no reference at all to remind me of the place that I'm supposed to be.
The Star Wars prequels, it was all like this.
Use a little bit of width down here. Once you're down the stick.
There's a scene with Gandalf and Frodo in Bag End when Frodo gets up from the table and says, you know, we'll hide the ring and no one will ever find it. And suddenly I had to kind of remember my marks, hit a mark at a specific place at a specific time so that it matched the timing of the shot that they got with Ian. No one knows it's here, do they?
So Ian was actually there. Okay.
Do they, Gandalf?
Probably the most frustrating thing for me was working on my knees.
This is probably.
Oh, I thought this was probably how they did a bit of it.
Frodo had a clear access through.
Just the freedom of movement that you have from having your legs, you know, positioned on the ground is a lot freer than having your knees, because there's a sense of overbalancing or underbalancing, falling one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so you've got all these kind of
padding on.
different technical and logistic and cinematic
goodness,
tricks
that's
going on
creepy.
in your head. But at a certain point, you have to just kind of squeeze that out of your mind and remember what the story is, and remember what your character is, and have
Go on, Gimli.
emotional interaction with your imagination on camera.
I think I'm getting the hang of this.
That's amazing. I need to go back and watch these scenes, guys.
Generally at about 8 o'clock.
Birthday boys are going to Alcove tonight, so if anyone wants to join us.
Where's that? What town is that?
It's in Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yep.
The drinks on Elijah!
Drinks on Elijah.
For the year. So I hope to see people there. That would be lovely.
We had to take off our costume, then go into makeup and have our ears taken off and our wigs, which took about 40 minutes, and then have our feet taken off, which took
You can't just
close
rip
to
it off,
about
can
an
you?
hour, you know, in kind of soapy water with people
Man.
hacking away at your feet with brushes and metal sticks.
Oh,
and
was that all
pipe
painful?
cleaners and toothpicks and all that kind of stuff.
Once the feet were off, if it was a Friday, we might have a beer as well, which is nice. You sit there with a beer, somebody rubbing your feet.
Did they have
Does it
weekends
get
off?
any
I
better?
guess they must
I
have
don't
done.
think so.
That's a typical day.
Oh no, that's
The
it.
life of a Hobbit on Lord of the Rings.
That was blooming wonderful. I mean, that covered so much. The home of the horse lords. Okay. That covered so much stuff that I wasn't expecting it to though, guys. That was... The perspective thing blew my mind. It was showing that scene with Merry and Pippin washing the plates, and it didn't dawn on me what I was actually seeing. The fact that they were actually stood next to each other, but using like depth of field. That is incredible. This scene was cut from the movie, right? I don't remember there being a scene, because obviously this is after Pippin and Merry blow up one of Gandalf's fireworks. I don't remember them then talking with Gandalf. It may have happened, guys. It has been a while, and they're long movies. They are long movies. But that's insane. And he put some plates down on there, didn't he, as well? Oh, you can almost tell, you know. You can almost tell by where he picks up that mug from. I'm going to ask this now, guys. Can you ever unsee this stuff? When you're rewatching, I'm hoping so. When you're watching the movies, you're not thinking, oh yeah, Elijah's not really there, or Dominic and Billy are like miles away in the background, or anything like that. I'm hoping not. Just the way that Ian, I should say, picks up that mug. No, I take it back. That's incredible. And he's looking. He's like looking. For some reason, guys, I didn't think it was going to be filmed like that, but that is incredible. Just this scene here twisted my melon, seriously. And it doesn't even, because I now know it. This is what I'm saying about, can you ever unsee this stuff? Now that I look at this, it doesn't look like Ian's looking at him at all. Wow. Bloomin' film trickery, guys. I mean, it looks incredible, though. But I'm hoping that when you rewatch these things, you're not constantly thinking, oh, hang on, he's not really there, and all that sort of stuff. Working on the knees makes sense, but obviously that doesn't then shrink them down. So obviously then you use perspective again. I guess that's why the hobbits have to be quite far forward in front of them. Or in front of the people in the background. There was someone as Sean Bean's character, but it wasn't Sean Bean then as well. That's definitely Boromir's outfit. Very interesting. Maybe it's a stunt double. Maybe he wasn't available that day. Or maybe it is him. Because the thing is, guys, this is obviously quite old footage now. But yeah, it definitely doesn't look like him. Elijah's CD case, guys. I mean, I've got a couple actually still, incredibly. They're mainly empty. But yeah, that CD case, that was right near the start, wasn't it? Everyone had CD cases like this. I mean, to stand up for that long. Good on them, guys. Seriously. And then being able to act throughout the day as well. 4:30 in the morning seems a bit much. But then again, it's such an adventure, though. And you see, like, Elijah's excitement of waking up in that area. I think that would actually get you through quite a lot, actually, being in such a beautiful area. There it is. You know, it is there. Everyone had those guys. They were... You were... There we go. That is a specific... What, like, say, maybe... I'd say, like, a proper decade that people had those for. Maybe? CDs? I know, technology seems to be coming and going so quickly nowadays. I had a stereo system very similar to that, and a VHS like that as well. I'll say this, though. 2 hours for makeup. I would almost suggest that it would have thought it would have been more. Because I know that some makeup on characters takes, like, a ridiculous amount of time. I don't know if you guys ever heard of or seen the sitcom Red Dwarf. But in that, there's a character called Crichton, who's a robot. And I know that his prosthetics and everything took a ridiculous amount of time and is incredibly uncomfortable and everything. And so I'm pretty sure that definitely took longer than 2 hours. That 2 hours seems like a completely fine amount of time. Although I did say, if the feet ever got damaged. And if they did, that would possibly put back certain scenes. Actually, you know what? It'd probably be certain scenes that they'd even risk damaging the feet. But when the hobbits are running around and everything, if someone's foot gets damaged, as in the fake foot gets damaged, you gotta go and... That's like lost time, really, isn't it? Jeez. And I think Sean said that it was 50 days. 15 is okay. That doesn't seem too bad. If it's 50, that must have been very annoying for the Hobbit, or at least for Sam, at least, anyway. That was amazing when Elijah, Merry, and Pippin were... I'm getting so confused with these names now. When Elijah, Dom, and Billy... This was incredible as well. We'll talk about this in a moment. But where this stuff, where they're like backstabbing each other and everything, was absolutely brilliant. But I was going to say, if actors did that nowadays on set, somebody would post that up and like loads of articles being written about bitter hatred of each other and everything. And that's probably ridiculous. I do hope that those aren't the prop apples that they were given by Aragorn. This is something which I just didn't think about, but it's so obvious that they would have to do this. So essentially, the actor is teaching the body double. Actually, you know what? That's probably not true. It's probably both ways. It probably is both ways. But that's so... Of course they'd have to do that. What an awesome image that is, though. But to get all the mannerisms down right. And the thing is, when you're doing mannerisms in real life, in RL, you don't pick up on the fact that you're doing it. And so I'd imagine they probably had to watch endless footage of themselves doing all this body work and then to pass it on. Again, I would love to just watch footage of this. You know what, guys? Apparently there are like ridiculously long versions of backstage stuff. And I don't know how I would ever be able to react to that, because I think that reacting to it in the sense where I then put out an edited up version, I don't know if that's going to be doable, because it could take a ridiculous amount of time. But if this stuff is widely available, or if it's on YouTube, that would help a lot, obviously, because then I could just post it like this. But if there's like a copy which you can then sync to, that might be an option as well. But I would love to see more of this. Oh man, these scenes. I hope that when I watch like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings next time, I'm not just thinking about, you know, oh, they're not really looking at them and everything. But I don't think I will. The story is so well done. The world is so beautiful, and the acting is so good. The script is so good, I think that you just get lost in it. I think that is the case. And of course it was Billy who would end up damaging his feet, because that's just so Pippin. But you'd imagine it must happen to all of them. And innocently as well, because running around the canteen, you're asking for trouble, obviously. But you know, these are long working hours and everything. You've got to be able to like have some tomfoolery and everything. But you just hope it doesn't set them back too much. Where was this? This was incredible. I think this might be the best bit. Where like they're trying to act completely natural with the camera. That's amazing. Dom's face there is amazing. And in the background, is that Gimli? It looks like Dr. Robotnik, quite frankly. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I think it could be, because he is a huge guy, isn't he? The guy who plays Gimli. But yeah, filming scenes without your feet in and having to stand... Actually, you just get through it. It sounds like Sam's actor didn't just get through it, but it must have been pretty frustrating to like not show your feet and have all the prosthetics put on there. But there must have been days where they just didn't need them. They simply just didn't need them. I'm not sure what scenes particularly, but there must have been. Anyway, guys, this is an absolute treat. These, you know what it is, guys? The thing that makes these videos the best is the actors' personalities, because they seem like they're just having such a great time, even though they're working their literally working their socks off, considering they're not wearing socks. But yeah, this sort of stuff, it's going to be fascinating to rewatch and try and pick up on these sort of things when it's happening. Because you hear Ian like saying, "Don't look at me." So obviously Elijah just natural reaction when acting and everything is to look the other character in the face. But you know, it must have taken a lot of training to avoid doing that. Brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed this, guys. And yeah, it's a shorter one. It's much shorter than I was expecting, in fact. So the next one is a bit chunkier. The Home of the Horse Lords. And then we got the Music of Middle-earth, which I'm looking forward to thoroughly. But yeah, if there's anything else Lord of the Rings related, guys, and it doesn't have to be behind the scenes stuff, let me know in the comments and I'll endeavour to check it out in the future. But all in all, guys, I'm absolutely loving checking out these videos. They're just so sweet. They really are. Please like and subscribe. All you guys, did I ever put out that other... I don't think I did. Okay, guys, I don't think I did. Balls. And I think it's uploaded on my channel ready to go. So I have filmed a reaction to this, guys. They're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. But when I recorded it, it had been a long time since I'd done a Lord of the Rings reaction. And I didn't want to insult you guys by putting out a very short reaction, considering you've had to wait so long for a Lord of the Rings reaction. And so I didn't. So I then put out this, the reaction to Fellowship of the Cast. And I still don't think I've put out the reaction to this. So expect that sometime in the future. Maybe I'll twin it with another video, in fact. Maybe I will do that. We'll probably do that. Anyway, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS, and I'll see you next time.